Hey everybody, Michelle with Michelle's for a Living here. Thanks for watching my videos. And today I'm going to be making some old-fashioned preserved thumbprint cookies. And yeah, I got a cookie swap to go to tomorrow, so I need some cookies. So let's go through the recipe and what I'm going to be using here. So the 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 3/4 cups of butter, softened it says, 1 cup of powdered sugar, so I got my powdered sugar there, 2 1/4 cups of flour, I've got some flour right there, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, it says 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, and there's a lady coming who can't eat nuts, so I'm leaving that out, and hopefully it won't make that big of a difference to the recipe. I might add just a little bit more flour, but anyways, so I'm just leaving that out. And then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and then it says strawberry or peach preserves here, but use whatever flavor you want, in my opinion. And I'm going to make a variety of flavors since I've got all of these different. I've got some cherry, I got orange marmalade, blackberry, apricot, and apple. So I think it'll make a nice presentation having different colors of them. So the first thing that I have to do is get the butter softened and the cream cheese and the powdered sugar go into the bowl, and then I'm going to blend that up. So that's the first thing I got to do. Alright, I've got the butter, the cream cheese, and the powdered sugar in the bowl, and now I'm going to mix it up, but I think I'm going to turn the camera off because it's going to be kind of loud. Alright, I scraped the sides down a little bit just to make sure I got all the powdered sugar incorporated, but that only took about 45 seconds or something, and it's really smooth. So next it says to add the baking soda and the flour and stir to blend well. So we'll do that, and then you add the pecans and the vanilla and just and stir those together. Okay, so far I added a cup and a 1/4 of flour. I need to add another cup of flour. I used the mixer to do that, but it does say stir and not to blend it. So anyways, I just need to get another cup in here, and it was getting kind of messy. To probably better idea to use a bigger bowl next time. So I just need to get another cup of flour in here. And actually the dough isn't that hard to mix up. It might be now that I'm going to have to get all this flour in there. I did do it 1/2 cup at a time before, so but I'll get this mixed up. It's going to take me a little bit to get this in there. And I'll go ahead and add the vanilla. I don't care. We need how much vanilla did it say? I just dumped some in, didn't I? 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. That's all right. Okay, and then I'll show you when I get it all mixed up. Alright, that was relatively easy to get all that mixed in there and everything. So it's kind of like Play-Doh at this point. Is what it feels like. So and I got the vanilla in there. So the next thing I have to do is let it chill in the refrigerator for 1/2 an hour, and then we're going to form it into balls. Okay, so the dough has chilled in the refrigerator for, it's been about 45 minutes, but it says at least 1/2 an hour. I've got the oven set at 350 degrees. It's preheated. I got my cookie sheet ready. Basically, let's see, ungreased cookie sheet, it says. We're going to roll this into 1-inch balls, and then push a divot into them and put the jelly in it. The recipe says it'll make 3 dozen, so I'm gonna try and get that out of this we'll see. So basically I just got a spoon and I'm just gonna take off some here and roll it into a ball. I kind of want to get it kind of even and get the lines out of it so that it doesn't crack. And so basically it's called a thumbprint because you push your thumb into it and make a divot in the middle there. See how it kind of cracks the sides out when you do that? So I'm just going to kind of push them back together. So the recipe actually says to put a teaspoon of the preserves in the divot. This is a half a teaspoon, and it says to make 1-inch balls. I just don't get where it would take a whole teaspoon to fill that up, because this is a half a teaspoon measure right here. So like I said, I'm going to use different flavors in these so that there'll be different colors, well, and have different flavors to them. But see, that's I would have to make these a lot bigger in order to put that much more jam in them. So anyhow, yeah, I gotta get to rolling this dough and get them in the oven. They're gonna bake for 14 to 16 minutes or until lightly golden brown, and then cool on a wire rack, it says. All right, I'll show you what happens next. Okay, so they're ready to go into the oven. So I decided to make some of them bigger because I divided up the dough into 3 parts, and so that I could kind of at least get 3 dozen out of there. And so that was like the original ones I was doing, so you can see they're a little bit smaller. But I decided to make them a little bit bigger, and I've got 2 dozen here, so I think I'm going to get at least 4 dozen out of this for making them this size. So yeah, we'll put them in the oven and then we'll see what happens. Alright, so here they are after they come out of the oven, and I have the oven set at 350. Of course, you need to test your oven, see how temperatures work on that, but it says 14 to 16 minutes in the recipe, and it took like 18 minutes to get them to this point, and I think they're going to be fine. They got slate brown on the bottom, and they're certainly set up, so they'll be soft, not crisp at this point for me. But I thought I'd show you the difference in what happened with the preserves or jam that's on these. These right here are this blackberry jam, and it was a lot runnier, so it ran out. This is the cherry preserves, which is a lot thicker, and that sat in there really well. I probably could have put more. That one actually got a cherry on it. Okay, these right here, this really light one, is just some apple jelly, and it oozed out a little bit. These right here is, no, that's not the orange marmalade. Those are the apricot. It's a little bit darker. Those there, and that says preserves on it, and it did really well. And then these ones back here is this orange marmalade fruit spread, it says. So and that one did really well. So it looks like things that are actually jelly are well, in that jam, a little bit more runny than if you actually use preserves, like the recipe says to use for preserves. So I think they turned out pretty good. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.